Today I am going to show you how exactly I plan to plan and budget my overall creative process when it comes down to designing and creating the seasonal home decor that I do here in my home. If you watch my last series, which was the Ralph Lauren 4th of July, I kept saying throughout that series that I wanted to get a lot more organized and take you along the creative process that I want to do from here on out on my channel to help you if you want to decorate your home. So that way you're saving money, you are saving time, and you are not overspending when it comes down to the seasonal home decor, because it can fill up. As we can see, I've been shopping again, and it can fill up very quickly if we're not fully aware of how much we are spending without a plan of action to execute in a way that makes sense. So in today's video, I'm going to take you along throughout my home to kind of showcase the creative part of what I want to do from here on out when it comes down to how I move forward with designing my home for the upcoming holiday season, because it is fast approaching and I want to make sure that I'm optimizing my time, my money, and the decor that I already have. So if you're interested, feel free to keep watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's begin. Now you might be asking yourself, who the heck are you and why should I listen? I'm glad you asked. So actually, my name is Justine Jordan. I am a lover of all creative projects that I do here on my channel, including home seasonal decor, DIY projects, shopping hauls, and all that fun stuff when it comes down to showing up for every season with my home. A little backstory that I want to share, but let me sit down so we can kind of have a story and then walk you through the creative process. I promise I'll be quick. So I used to live in a non-aesthetic home when I first started this channel. In fact, I was starting this channel when I was there, and then we moved last year. And we got into a very aesthetically pleasing. And I say aesthetic because it's not really that aesthetic, because your aesthetic, everyone else's aesthetic is totally different. But if you're a creative person like me, when it comes down to decorating your home, I was looking for a clean slate. So the first thing that's a really prerequisite if you have the ability to choose your next home and you want to start decorating and it look really nice is to choose a white blank slate. Right after Halloween, we moved here into this new home and I became obsessed. I started shopping and then showcasing my shopping hauls, and they really did well when it came down to people finding my channel. Then I started to decorate. As you can see, the 4th of July stuff is still up and going, and I loved it. I love bringing my creativity. I love bringing different ways to decorate based on aspirations that are already out there in the stores, along with doing my own creative spin on things. So that's what led me up to creating this video, because I started to notice that I was overspending. In fact, my husband's just like, hey, we have to stick to a budget. And if you need certain home decors for your channel, for your decor videos, we need to be a lot more strategic on how much money you're spending and being able to support this channel, but also optimize it in a way that makes sense. So what we're going to do is we are going to transition into my thought process of what I want to bring forth on my channel in hopes that it helps you get organized with your money, your time, and your design element of how to choose this certain decor for your home in order for you to optimize your budget. If you don't have the budget to do so and you are loving my channel, my videos, and you want to hit that subscribe button, feel free to keep watching, because I'm going to work with what you have to showcase within this video of what I'm doing next. So what are we doing now? Well, the prerequisite is that, one, I'm not following the trend of going straight into the fall decor. That is going to be something that I'm going to incorporate definitely on my channel. But instead of going straight in there, because I just decorated my home for the 4th of July, and I'm like, there's a really big gap between July and fall decor, which I don't know, it seems like it's starting in August or September. But how do I combat that gap of time in order for me to sustain a seasonal time in my house? I used to play sports when I was younger. I played football, basketball, softball, and I'm into all of the athletic stuff when it comes down to learning new skill sets. I grew up in New York City. We used to play handball, and it's not really a sport, but it was definitely something that you saw in the city when it came down to the parks that you visit. So the next theme that I'm coming up with is more in the lines of the football season. I am a Dallas Cowboy fan for the NFL in the United States, for those of you who do watch American football. Now, if you don't like the Dallas Cowboy, don't let that stop you. Don't let that barrier between me and you becoming besties here on my channel by you subscribing to my channel. Don't let that stop you. However, there's also been times where I have shared DIY projects that I did here for back to school because I was an educator. So I might flip between each one each year. But for this year, we're going to dive into more of the football season. And I'm calling it a divided home because my husband's also into football. Football is probably his main sport. Basketball was mine. And he loves the Baltimore Ravens. So we're going to do a little bit of a theme called the divided home. I'm just going to do more of a football theme with sprinkles of the Dallas Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens. And I want to take you along that process in one of my rooms. But before we go into one of the rooms that I do decorate here on my channel, let me go on my whiteboard. Let me walk you through my process of that specific room. And then I'll showcase you what do I mean by each area. So that way you have an idea more visually versus just me talking, because I could talk. All right. So I have my whiteboard and I want to walk you through the first step, but I actually have my notes that I'm going to be looking at because I wrote them down. I don't want to forget one. I actually used to do this on my old channel and I used to love to teach from my whiteboard. And so I feel like a real teacher. So hopefully you feel like a real student that's learning from me. Okay, so step one, when it comes down to how to plan your seasonal home decor. Okay, so we're going to pick our rooms. So the rooms that I am going with, obviously, is I'm going to choose the one that I'm actually going to show you. So the first, whatever rooms, that's the first thing you want to do. What rooms in your house are you going to choose to decorate? More than likely, people choose the kitchen and the living room. That's usually the most common places to decorate in their home if you don't decorate anywhere else, right? Maybe you're not a person who decorates your entire home or every single room. You're a person that maybe just getting started, or maybe you just moved just like me and you just want to focus on one or two areas. So the first thing that I am going to pick is the kitchen. Okay, and again, I'm going to walk you through the thing. Now, the prerequisite to this is that maybe you want to go with naming. Let me see if I could find a good marker, a different type of marker. Okay, the prerequisite is like, what is your theme? So we're calling it a divided home. You don't have to come up with a theme like me. I'm a little extra. So this is the theme name. This is what I usually do. I usually think about like, well, what is the theme that I want to call it? And we are coming up with the divided home, right? Me and my husband are football players. I used to be a flag football player. He used to play football in high school too. So then once we have the particular rooms that we are now focusing on, so I chose the kitchen in this example. However, if you watch any of my older videos, I actually do decorate my office area, which is what you saw here, which is where we are, the guest bathroom, the kitchen, a tablescape in the kitchen on the dining room. And then I definitely want to incorporate the living room. I do have a guest room as well in my house. It's just super under construction. It probably acts more like our storage than it does our decor stuff, which, that's what happens when you move, okay? So once we figure out what room that we want to decorate, even if it is just one, that is okay. The next thing that I'm taking into account when it comes down to what I'm doing next is I am inventory of each room, okay? So I'm taking an inventory of what I have. I'm taking also an inventory of what I want to add to the space. So if it's the kitchen, what is the list of things that I want to incorporate when it comes down to the kitchen? And I'll walk you through this in the process when it comes down to the kitchen. We'll head over there as well. But this is basically a list of items. Okay. Number 3 is we want to choose a color palette. Because our theme is a divided home, my color palettes I always recommend choosing at least, or maybe not even at least, I would say 2 to 3 colors. Okay. So for the football theme, it's going to be green, brown, and white. Obviously brown for the football, green for the greenery that represents the football fields, and then the white that coincides. White tends to be my base in practically every single theme color. So that's what I would choose. Those I usually go with 3 colors then too, but you can choose 2 as well. For Halloween, I'm debating if I want to just go with 2, which it's coming up next, or not next, it's in the future. So 2 to 3 colors identified with your theme. If it's Christmas, red and green. If it's fall, orange and brown. Do those colors as you will. So now we're at step number 4. So step 4 is called audit you have. Okay. If you have boxes and bins that you are already stored away, please, please, please do yourself a favor and go through them. I am definitely doing that. In fact, last year, I wanted to create content on my YouTube channel when it came down to football stuff. I made a football wreath. It's not my best work. So I bought a lot of football stuff thinking I was going to decorate and showcase things. And I was just in a funk last year. So I do have inventory, which I'm going to audit with you in the next upcoming videos of my process. So I'm going to take you along this creative process. And then at the end, show you what I got in the shopping haul, then actually decorate the home when it comes down to it. So you're getting like the prerequisite of my brain right now as we work through planning and being strategic and optimizing our money and our time and what we already have. So that's step 4. So now that we've audited what we already have for the kitchen, we have a list of items that we might need, and we'll walk you through that process. Now we have the colors. We know we're going to go with green, brown, and white with a sprinkle of each color that represents. So maybe I'll do a Dallas Cowboy sprinkle here, and then I do a little Baltimore Ravens to represent my husband because it is still under the theme of divided home. Okay, so let's go on to step 5. Visualize your room. One thing that I have done when it comes down to how I show up with my decor stuff, I have done something that's so cool. And if you have ChatGPT, please use this. I think you could use it even in the free account. So what I do is I take a photo of my room and then I ask it to decorate it with inspirational pictures that I got from Pinterest. And then it gives me the overall picture of what it would look like. So we're stepping into more of a visual and really seeing it in a 3D world versus just in our imagination. This is a game changer for me because I was never the type of girl to go into a room and then all of a sudden I can see what's possible. If you ask me to look at a room and it's just white, I'm like, I can't see nothing. All I can see is what's in front of me. So this is a step for particularly me, but if you're like me, taking a picture of whatever room you're in or whatever place in the counter or the bathroom, wherever it is, and ask ChatGPT based on the inspirational stuff that you find on Pinterest, or maybe you screenshot some of my videos and you love the decor there. Now you can utilize those inspo pictures, put them with your real photo of your room, and then now it can have it. And I actually did it right here with my dining room table. So I wanted to know what my dining room table would look like. And I asked Chat, I took a plain picture in the app and gave it some inspo fit photos and like, what would my dining room look like in this space? And chef's kiss, because it came out so cute. And now I can really envision what I want and call it into my reality to finally get that dining room table. I'm not ending this year without a dining room table. We're going to get it. Just got to talk to my husband about that. But that's what I would do. So that's step 5. The last step would be step 6, which is shop with intention. So I've already ignored this step because as we saw in the beginning of this video, I already went shopping. However, again, I was getting things because I was like, oh, if I want to decorate the bathroom, I know for sure I need a shower curtain that represents the football theme. So I knew there were certain things I didn't have without even having to go through all this. But this is a great way to optimize and strategize your particular thought process when it comes to shopping. So let's run through it again. First, you're going to, obviously the prerequisite is come up with a theme. Okay, then you're going to pick the rooms. What rooms or rooms, and we can put this in parentheses because it just might be one room. Okay, take an inventory of that room. What is already there? What do you think you need? Get some inspiration from Pinterest. Then you're going to choose the color palette. What colors? I say stick to 2 to 3. Then we're going to audit what you already have in storage if you have anything. If not, no worries. That's the whole point of starting to shop. Then you're going to use maybe even AI to kind of visualize. So we're just going to use maybe ChatGPT. And listen, if you're a person like, I don't like AI, that you don't have to skip this step. Skip it. You don't have to do it. Okay. But it does help for people like me who can't visualize it or have a hard time visualizing it. So visualize your room using maybe some form of AI. And then the last one is shop with intention. And that's where my shopping haul comes in. Now we're just like, oh my God, now we could go shopping. Now I know exactly what I want to shop. And create that list and then head out to the stores, honey, and make sure you use your budget and don't overspend. Okay. In fact, look at what my husband did. He knew I was coming up with the theme, and so he printed out his little Ravens helmet. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Ravens on there right there. I figured we could probably color it. I don't know if it came out ideal because the Ravens logo is a little rough. Anyways, we are in the kitchen. This is one of the, let me lower this because I'm a little short. If you see it a mess, that is okay. We are coming on this channel a little authentic and I'm giving it to you raw. So I have all these bills. Nothing has been cleaned. There's stuff on the stove from last night. And I'm just like, you know what? We got to show up because I need to get this video done. And to me, giving you the most authentic version, especially with this particular video, showcases like how much I care about teaching the methodology versus creating a beautiful picture. Because yes, we can create a beautiful picture, but that's for the upcoming video. So again, if you're not here to subscribe, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So one thing I want to share about the kitchen is that there are certain things that I'm constantly buying when it comes down to my seasonal home decor. And this would be step number, 2, right? So we have the theme, we pick the room, and now we're coming into the space of like, well, what does each room need? Okay, so if we look right here, I have a hook to incorporate an apron. An apron is something I tend to get every single season. One, it adds a beautiful element to the actual holiday, but then 2, it's useful, right? It's efficient. So I always coordinate an apron into the overall theme, well, no matter what it is. So if it's a 4th of July, if it's an Easter, if it's the Tiny Summer Squeeze summer decor, I'm always trying to incorporate some form of apron. Sometimes I do get an apron that can last more than one theme. That's also an ideal thing you can do, especially as we segue into the holiday season. So this is something I know for sure. So I would write on my little list, say, okay, what do I need? I need an apron. I need an apron on the theme. Again, we're going to ignore whatever is on the stove. In fact, let's just put this in here because it's usually in there. We have a little, what is this called? An iron pan? Anyways, so another thing that I would write in my list are these little areas that I have. So I have 2 command strips that are on my cabinets that can easily come off, especially if you're renting, like it's something that can come off easily that won't destroy your cabinets. But I always need 2, whether it's a bow, whether it's small little wreath, whether it's maybe I did it one time, 2 Easter eggs that I hung up there that I got from Walmart. These are things, again, that I'm adding to the list. I always know I need 2 of these in order for me to decorate in this particular room. So I would just say like 2, I don't know, hanging decor that I know, and I'll know what that means for my particular seasonal decor. So again, that's another thing. One more thing that I'm not going to go through the whole room because the kitchen is one of the biggest rooms that I decorate. It's probably why I love it so much because it's literally the heart of the home for me. But one thing for sure that I always showcase that it's on my channel is my coffee bar area. So let me bring you in closer so that way you can see. As you can see, I always have 2 glass cups. I use this afternoon. And then I have my little teddy bear cup. So I like to drink hot coffee with my Keurig. Or sometimes I make my iced coffee with my espresso machine. But I always have something on this top shelf to represent the cups for the theme. I have noticed that I could just use a 3D printer to print out a cute little sign. This is something that's new, but I absolutely love my 3D printer. It definitely helps when it comes to decor and it condenses my expenses. And I'll go through that next. So this is something that I use all the time. And then I tend to have some form of decor here as well to kind of give it a little bit of a theme, a little festive. I don't have to include that every single time. In fact, that can probably go somewhere around here. However, this is something, again, okay, so I know I need 2 glasses and a mug for my coffee because I want to make it pretty, but I also want to make it functional. That's the biggest thing about my kitchen. It's one thing to have decor sitting there and not being used, but if I'm going to use it, please make sure it's functional. The last thing I wanted to share that has really been my game changer when it comes down to the decor that I choose here is my bamboo lab, or my A1 bamboo lab. I still don't know the name of it. I said it in a previous video and I'm just like, girl, learn the name. But it's just so cute. Anyways, this right here is worth every penny, especially if you're a person who loves to decorate your home for the holidays. I have 3D printed rabbits for Easter. I tried to print lemons for the summer decor. I have printed stuff for the 4th of July. These little things have been my game changer when it comes to decor. This literally has saved me so much money. The only thing that I spend money on is the filament, and I circulate different colors for each season. Now, I will say this, it is an investment. It's something that is it's a good price. It's not bad, but the amount of money that it does save me from shopping from those little decors that you see throughout my channel, especially when it comes to filling up the cabinets in my office, it really does add up. And my husband bought me this for my birthday because one day I saw another creative printing out the cutest things. And let me tell you, if you're a woman who loves cute stuff, don't feel like this is a masculine thing. There are so many cute things that you can print for your home, just in general. But if you want to throw in a seasonal decor, I recommend the A1 Bamboo Lab because you can print multiple colors. So I can print on this little, spindle. I don't even know what it's called. My husband did all this, but it's not hard to set up. It's pretty easy. And there's so much content out there that you can utilize when it comes down to the 3D printer. But I can put 4 different filaments on there, and then it can print something that's this, and it'll print it all together, and I don't have to put nothing. You can put other stuff together. This upcoming football season, I already ordered the green, brown, and extra white. So I'm going to be printing out football stuff. It's going to be so cute. This is the bonus. This is the thing that has saved me so much money because, again, it's a costly thing up front, but it saves me so much money in the long run that I'm willing to spend money on a little bit of filament. The filament runs like $12. And then to print something like this, each type of print is basically free. As long as you don't resell it, you can literally print this for free. So all these different designs that people make on, I don't know what it's called, the Bamboo Lab World, Maker World, something like that. They put it out there, but you can sell it. It's just you have to get a commercial license. However, if you're just doing it to decorate your home, I should be an affiliate for them. Because I love it so much. All right, so that concludes my creative process of how I'm planning my seasonal home decor from here on out. I hope this was super helpful because I know it's going to save me a lot of money because I'm a person, like I said in the beginning, and I'm willing to admit because we are just honest over here. I'm a spender. I love to spend. If I have any opportunity, I let the money flow in because I'm going to circulate it in the world, right? No one ever has to worry about me being stingy with my money. However, I hope this was helpful. Feel free to let me know, what questions do you have? I know a big question that I tend to get from my family who watches my content is like, how do you organize? How do you keep all these things that you do? And honestly, I plan on bringing you along to show you how I'm going to organize the home decor, that I'm going to take all this down and segue into the football season home decor. So I'm so excited. I'm still getting all this stuff situated, but the next video, I'm actually going to showcase how I'm going to develop more of a mood board, like a visual. So in step 5, we talk about visualizing your room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own mood board and kind of see what it is visually. You can do it the AI way, right, with ChatGPT. But I'm a person just like with when the Kindle came out, like everyone was on it. I'm a book girly. I need to feel it. I need to see it. I love to feel and hold on to things and see it in real time. So I'm going to take you along with creating a mood board to then incorporate this overall theme of the divided home for the football season. So stay tuned if that sounds like interesting. Again, this is just the first part of the creative process. This is just the planning portion. So we're gonna start embedding these steps into the overall process and then eventually segue into showcasing everything that I buy along with how I decorate it for the football season. And then obviously from here on out, we're going into fall, Halloween, Christmas, and all that jazz. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you have any questions or some things you want to see behind the scenes. I absolutely love creating these type of videos, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.